Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. This is Two Catholic Dudes. My name is Ryan Klaus.
My name is Danny Cleary.
As always, we are not priests, we're not theologians. We're just two Catholic dudes, and we're talking about our faith.
And this week, we are talking all about the state of the world. And as you can see, the podcast looks a little bit different this time because we are doing it from our separate houses because we are practicing social distancing with everything going on with the COVID-19 coronavirus all over the world. But we still wanted to get the podcast going. So we're going to talk about how that has been affecting our lives, ministry, and just the Catholic Church as a whole on this episode. So we are really excited. We wanted to make sure that despite any technical or struggles, or if we can't get it to be the quality that usually is, we wanted to make sure we still brought the podcast to you guys and have you guys have some online content, in the Catholic world.
That's right.
During this time.
Yeah, absolutely. We really didn't want to do remote podcasts. We were trying to keep it always in-house so the production level can be high. But obviously this is kind of extenuating circumstances. But I think it could be a blessing in disguise, at least for the podcast as it's concerned, because there's a lot of guests that we want to have on the show that we were always kind of afraid because we weren't really sure how the remote setup would work. So this is a great trial run for us that we know that this could function as on a remote basis, so that if we're both in-house, that we could get somebody on the show in the future remotely. So, hopefully it works out for the episode, but so far so good. But this is really unprecedented times, and we actually honestly haven't talked too much together.
Right.
Because there's been a lot going on in each of our lives in the whole world, and we haven't had a lot of time to catch up over the phone to make sure that we're made sure we were safe and everything like that, but we haven't put our heads together. So as always, there's not a lot of research into this episode, and a lot of we haven't taken notes and everything, but we're just going to kind of talk off the cuff of what's going on in the world right now, because there's a lot.
And here's the thing is this is not going to be a podcast. Like, there's enough news and rumors and all stuff going on about the virus going on right now. So this is going to be more about how we can maintain our spiritual lives, our mental health, and our faith in God and our hope in God during this isolation time. And we don't need research for that, right? We just need, our hearts and what we've been doing to kind of get through it and continually will do to do that.
Yeah.
So that's really what it's about. We're not going to give you stats on anything going on medically. There's plenty of that. Go turn on any news source. Go on social media. This is going to be to kind of escape. We want to escape from that and talk about God a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of fitting that, there's nothing good about this. There could be good that comes from it, but it's kind of interesting that this is all happening during Lent. I think, many people have already echoed that sentiment, but
I was laughing with my younger brother. We were driving in the car to go to get something to eat, and he kind of went off, and he was like, Jack, he was on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and he was like, I didn't know I was giving up my friends. And
you seen that meme where they're
everything
like,
for Lent.
They're like, this Lent I'm giving up TV or whatever, and then God's like, oh yeah, well how about also going out? Or like, wait, no, or no, what the meme was, oh, this is gonna be great, 2020, it's gonna be like the Roaring '20s, and then they go, oh cool, well there's gonna be a famine and a disease, and like, wait, no, and then they go, and all the bars are closing, and they're like, stop. It's like, that's not what I meant.
Wait. Right, yeah, it was super funny. But we were talking about, and it's true, we really are, the entire world is really experiencing a fast this Lent with everything going on.
All the other things in this world that people, as Bishop Barron would always say, that they worship. Not in the usual way that we think of, but like what do you put the most worth into in your life? Worthship, right. And it's like sports and celebrities and pop culture and all this stuff, and it's all been taken away. And even I heard they're throttling back Netflix. They started in some other countries, but it's probably going to happen to us too, because it can't. They're going to break the internet for how many people are streaming Netflix right now.
Really?
Yeah. So they're going to go down to standard definition for everybody, yeah, so
Wow.
it's like,
That's crazy because there's so many different streaming sites. It's not just Netflix.
Sure, exactly, but
Netflix is one of the few stocks that went up.
Yeah, exactly, and Charmin. Before we dive in more, like I want to just find out what, how are you? What's going on in your life? Are you safe? Are you healthy? How's it going over there with you?
Thanks for asking. What a good friend. And I'm doing good. I just recently moved. I was living in a house in Thousand Oaks with some of my friends and my brother, and just due to a lot of different circumstances, people moving, people getting married, things like that, I moved back home with my parents, and I just got all settled in today. I'm currently back in my room. I luckily moved into a different room than the one I lived in before, but I just got all set up in my room. I spent the day today working with my dad, building closet shelving and putting up blinds and just kind of doing some handyman stuff with my dad. And it was really nice. It helped the day go by, because these days can kind of drag on. Yeah. And it was nice to kind of get and work with my dad. And, when you're working with, you get to chatting, and it was really nice, So we were doing that today, and I'm spending a lot more time with my younger brother because he's here too, and he can't go anywhere. But I'm doing well. As far as my health goes, I'm feeling good. I'm very blessed. I'm practicing, social distance. I'm not going into large crowds or doing anything like that. My mental health, I'm definitely stressed, due to my job and some other stuff that is questionable, like a lot of people are suffering with right now. But you know what? I was saying this, I was on live with the teens for youth group, just because that's what we have to do right now. And I was telling them that even despite everything we feel like we've lost, if we were to look at life, there are still more positives and more blessings in life than there is negatives. Even and like I said, like, oh, well, I can't go out and sit around with my friends, but at least I have breath in my lungs. Yeah, this is just a drop in the ocean compared to God's love and mercy for us. Exactly. Like, there's so many things that, like, are positives and that you can see in this than there are negatives. There's a lot of stuff that sucks, but there's a lot of stuff that's really that's going to be okay, and there is a lot to benefit from this if we look at it kind of through that lens. Like we talked about it in our struggles episode, is not why is God doing this, but where is God in this? And it's fitting that it was 2 podcasts ago, but for us it was like almost a month ago at this point when we spoke and did the whole event down at Antelope Valley Youth Day. Like, my talk was on how you journey through the desert. It was on Lent, but now this is a giant worldwide Lent that we're experiencing, and knowing that even through these deserts, spiritually or physically in our lives, that we go through knowing that Christ was victorious and that there is purpose, and God has an end game for us, and He knows the answer, and it all comes back to Christ's death and resurrection on the cross. And so, being able to walk through this with our head held high, even through not understanding why this is going down, and it's messy and it's awful, but knowing that God is there, God is bigger than all of this. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. So that's a big thing. Same question back at you, man. How's everything going? You're in a kind of a different situation than me, so I'm in the safety of my childhood home. It's a bit stressful here, honestly. I am not excited about my current situation. So I live in kind of a Catholic communal space, and last week we had 4 people come in and out of this place that were traveling all around the country all at once, and I went to LAX 4 times to pick people up, and so one of my roommates currently flew. He was at 4, probably more than 4 airports in the last couple of weeks, and then flew in, and he has nowhere else to go, so he's here with us. There's 3 of us living here, and 2 days ago he started coming down with digestional symptoms, and last night he started feeling chilly. So I'm kind of stressing out and freaking out. I currently feel fine, but me and the other roommate are wiping everything down. I slept in a different room last night to avoid any kind of contact. But
It's definitely stressed out a lot. I've been running the last couple of days because, for one, I heard you. It happens in your lungs, right? It's inflammation of your lungs and everything. So I want to continue to stay as healthy as possible in my cardio. So I've been running not only to strengthen my lung capacity, but to have a litmus test to see how I'm feeling. So like I ran 6 miles yesterday and today, and like my normal time. So like my body's still fine, but I am definitely stressed and nervous about it.
Right. Well, I'm praying for you and for him as well. That maybe it's just there's a lot of times that I was reading something that like a lot of people are like thinking that they have things that they don't because like mentally like you put yourself like what if I have it? What if I have it? Like you can make yourself sick,
Exactly.
In that, and that's why like this quarantine situation, like we have to stay strong-willed because you have to keep your strength up, because God forbid you do come in contact with the virus. If you're already kind of down in the dumps, it could affect your body differently than if you're trying to be at your best,
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like a real thing. Your mental capacity to battle off things is a real thing. It's a real component.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on over here. But we're going to try to stay as much as possible quarantined with the three of us for the next 10 days or so,
Right.
so that if we all get it, then we are avoiding anyone else. But God willing, that we're all healthy, and then we know for a fact that we're healthy, and we're not coming in contact with anybody else that could have it.
Yeah. Well, the city of Moorpark just got their. I guess like they just announced that the first case was like a college student came out with it. So
It's scary times, man. So
yeah, it's just kind of bouncing around. It's scary, but at the end of the day too, like I don't, and I'm not trying to downplay it or anything like that, but like the numbers of it are scary. But if you put those numbers next to like the number of people in the world, like it's very astronomically different. But so everything's gonna be okay. Like it's not gonna. I was watching Planet of the Apes, the newer ones, with my brother the other day because what else is there to do? And like one of the concept of the movie is like there's like a flu that like wipes out, like 1 in 500 people that get it will survive, and it's just like it just takes over the world. Like we're not in that situation or anything like that. Like so remain hopeful. Stay healthy so that A, you don't get the sick, and that if you do, your body can be strong enough to battle it off and recover from it.
Exactly. So let's talk about the implications on the churches, huh? Because obviously we're both in church life, where we both have jobs and ministries in our church, and it obviously has greatly affected not only us but everybody, the entire church across the globe. And so
right now there is no public mass in the United States.
I think most of the world, if not all of it. I don't know the whole stats.
I don't know. I know that it's for sure in the United States there's no public mass in the United States.
Yeah. That's crazy, and like we would always look at other countries or just know that there was certain countries where people weren't able to celebrate Mass, and we would look at them and go, oh, those poor people, like in those third world countries or whatever that are persecuted, or for whatever reason they don't have priests or they're not able to celebrate Mass. Like, oh, that's so sad. And like, wait a second, like we're those people now.
Right.
We're not able to celebrate Mass.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers to kind of be living in that situation. I was saying today, like, I lost track of the days, right? Because it's Sunday. And I just didn't... My alarm went off that said Mass. And I didn't go to Mass.
Yeah.
Because it's just not an option. I was there. I went by the church last night to grab a couple things from my office. And it was like 5:30 when there should have been 5 o'clock Mass. And it's just like a wasteland.
Yeah.
There's nobody around.
I did watch Word on Fire's streaming of their Mass today. I haven't been watching streaming of the Masses. For one, the community that I've been in, we have a priest, and the plan was to still have daily Mass because if you can do private Masses under 10 people, I think.
Under 10 people, yeah.
But
that's how people are live streaming them.
That changed very quickly because his son thinks he has it. So He's a priest with one of those married priests. That was probably, everyone's like, what? He was Episcopalian, married with kids, and then, converted. So he's a Catholic priest that has a family, but his son thinks he has it, so they're all self-quarantining, and he's not going to be able to celebrate Mass with us. So we don't have Mass either in our little chapel here, but so the thing is, like, I've been talking about this, is like a lot of people our age, we're consuming all social media at the normal way, just a lot more of it, because what else are we doing? But like when I'm looking at all these Catholic posts, like I'm not in the mindset, if I'm just looking at people's stories and their feed and everything like that, I'm not in like the mindset to celebrate Mass spiritually, like, a spiritual communion. And so I was looking for bite-sized things, and that's actually what we're trying to do here. We're trying to still stay productive in the studio space that I'm in with whoever we can, and create little snippets for like the 40 and under kind of demographic, right? And so that they can get little bits of like reflection here, like what we do on Tuesday Thoughts. But today I did watch the full Mass and try to make a spiritual communion, and it's difficult, because you're not there. You got your regular.
It is hard.
You got your regular surroundings here and everything. But I think it was really great. I made sure I put myself in the right mindset, and it was a good moment. But I'm trying to get with my pastor to do some sort of, not live stream, but a recorded Mass, much like Word on Fire and much of the churches are doing, because I think. Whether it's the 40 and under demographic, but I think there's a richer calling for the 40 and over demographic. Like the 63-year-old lady that goes to daily Mass every single day, that she's on the women's group, or like one of the Knights of Columbus who's on the greeting committee, or he's a usher, and like that's their community, is the church, and whether or not they're watching Word on Fire or Center Presents or at the Cathedral Mass, they want to be connected to their parish and their people and see their priest saying Mass.
Yes. Yes. And that's something that I was telling my pastor. He was your pastor as well.
Yeah.
Because I called him and I was like, hey, because I'll be honest with you and everyone on the podcast. Like, I was stressing out this week. Well, I'm still stressing out, but like, because they told me like, hey, your youth ministry hours, like, they're gone because there's no confirmation. There's no youth ministry.
There's no
so
kids.
Like, I wasn't like laid off, but like I'm working 10 hours a week. You know what I mean? Like, that's not enough. Thank God, praise God that I got put in a situation right now where like I don't have the same rent or bill payments, and my parents are very gracious to take me in right now during this time. And like, I didn't expect to not have a job. And like a lot of like we're not booking any gigs or anything like that. I also, one of my second incomes is I teach wrestling a couple days a week, and that's completely shut down. So like I lost like all 3 of my jobs in a day, and many people are suffering with that. But anyway, so I called my pastor and I was like, hey, what do you think about live streaming Mass? And he was like, like I want to do something for the parish, because I made a Facebook page for the parish, and it got like 150 likes in like a day.
Yeah.
Because people are now all of a sudden like, even if they're like, oh, I'll check my Facebook here and there, now everybody's on Facebook all day long because there's nothing else to do. And like, that's what people are looking for, updates and stuff. So I made this page and I thought, let's live stream Mass. And he was very much like, there's so many great priests that are saying Mass that like, why not let them do it? Like, I don't have anything, like my homily's not going to be great. It'll just be me at Mass. And I was like, look, Padre, I call him Padre. I said, Padre, look, I get that. And your humility is appreciated, but you're the shepherd of Holy Cross in Moore Park. And the people want to see you because you're their spiritual father. And it means more. They don't care about the content. They want to see that you're making effort and you're celebrating Mass with them. And all you have to do is say Mass. I'll take care of the rest. And I bought a tripod for my phone and live streaming on the Facebook and everything else.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if the quality too isn't the same as Word on Fire or any of the big sites. It's fine. It's fine.
And he was very much like, you know what, Danny? He's like, you're right. Like, the people do need something. And so like I'm meeting with him tomorrow. And then he goes, so he was like, I just said Mass. And then he goes, let's do something where I'll be in the Shrine of Mary and I'll talk about Mary. And then he goes, I want you to do reflections on all the Stations of the Cross because you're a great speaker, and I want you to do those and put them on the Facebook. Let's feed the parish. Let's feed them as much as we can. And I'm like, yes, like this is awesome.
You know what I'm hearing right here? We're obviously in a new wave of we always say the new media evangelization, right? But not a lot of the old dogs had accepted it or been involved in it or even knew anything about it. Right. Yeah. There's a few exceptions with Bishop Barron and some of the Bishop Barron's he's not young, but he has that young mentality and he knows how to reach people. But there's a lot.
He knows the importance of reaching people with these new tools.
The importance of reaching people, exactly. But a lot of older priests, they're just like, nah, this is the way it's always been. It's fine. We don't need it. But right now, more than ever, we need it. We need it. And so it's good to see that they're jumping on board because I don't think. In our world right now, it's going to be pre-COVID-19, post-COVID-19. It's going to be a different world.
Completely. And
this can be an amazing opportunity to bring the Catholic Church into the 21st century finally. Just like force our hand to be like, all right, well, we're going full new media and we're connecting ourselves to be one unified church. We are, but like now through the internet, that's possible if we can all get on board.
But at least through the times of like, look, the church needs some of these new tools in order to bring the traditions of old to people when they can't go. You know what I mean? That's what it is. We're not trying to change the church.
No.
But we're saying, like, look at these awesome tools that we have that can bring the church into the fold during times of crisis.
Exactly.
Let's use them to the fullest extent that we can.
Exactly.
Because I'll tell you, I got a comment on our live stream, or my live stream, one of the live streams. I've been going live on like 5 different profiles, about when someone said, when it first, before masks got taken away, before masses were canceled because of the gatherings, and it was just no communion on the tongue and no cup, right, at most parishes in the world. And people were like, Danny, are you so like... how funny is it that like all the people that ripped on you for doing communion in the hand, and now that's the only option? Like, how funny is that? And I was like, was a part of me like, maybe for like a second, but like for the most part, like I don't want that. I want people to be able to receive communion and receive Jesus however they see fit, right? Or as long as it's in a discipline that's approved,
right? So but the two options.
Right, but yeah. But I meant like on your knees, you're standing up, altar rail in the hand, like as long as it's like, right. Yeah, please don't like flip it to me and I catch it in my mouth. Like that's completely irreverent.
That's not the approved way.
But you know what? I'm not trying to be like, oh, I win now because it wasn't anything like that. It was like, I was heartbroken for these people.
Right, because people, they're torn. They're like, I want to receive, but I can't receive that way because I don't believe that or whatever. I don't know.
I do call for those people, we're going off on a tangent, but that's what we do here on the podcast.
That's right.
Is, I would say to call to them is like when everything comes back to normal, right? When we're able to go to mass again and receive how we choose and all that, don't look so harshly on the people that do receive communion in the hand. Because
they're receiving Jesus just as much as we are. We're all receiving Jesus the same, and hopefully they see that, maybe they might not approve of that method, but they can see that it's still valid and we're still all right. Let's get back on track. But
exactly, but I'm more saying in the sense of, because when you couldn't receive it how you wanted, it was the biggest deal, and you were like, "This is wrong. I should be able to receive it how I want." Like, give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so. But yeah, it was awesome that Monsignor, my pastor, was so engaged, and he was so like, yes, let's do something. And he was really he went to bat for me because he was like, Danny, you're the new social media manager of the parish because I want to get you some hours because you're valuable to this parish and I can't lose you, and I want to do something that's going to help the parish.
Right.
Because at the same time, like parishes live off the donations of the faithful. And so there's no mass for collection. So it's completely upon people's goodwill to continue that donation.
And they're already hurting. So, you got to, Yeah, it's gonna be tough regardless, but you have to offer them something and give people an opportunity. There might be some old people that never really go online or never go on the website, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. I don't even know that was an option to give through Faith Direct or any one of the donation sites, and so it's an opportunity to get them to continue to give their weekly offerings through the internet.
And like I was just like, and I was in the vein of like more so than like, oh, get me some hours. Like I'm just like, I want to help the parish and the people of the parish because they're my family.
Yeah,
right. We're all the body of Christ. So it was like, how can we bring Jesus to the people? Even now, they can't come to him, so we need to bring him. Right? We need to be the disciples when Jesus says, "Go out." You know, he gave the disciples tongues of fire to speak in a language that they didn't understand. So maybe this is what Jesus is calling us, like, use everything to get the people. You know, use Facebook, use Instagram, use everything.
So now he's not saying,
it's to them, tongues of fire, it's keyboards of fire.
That's right. To them he said, go out. To us he's saying, stay in.
Stay in. But go on the web.
Go on the web.
You know what I mean? But like the mission of Jesus doesn't change because we have to stay inside.
Right.
The mission of Jesus is still to preach the gospel and to spread the good news. And if we have to do that from the comfort of our computers or our cell phones, and our
hoodies, I'm wearing my standard hoodie. I saw the funny, like, there's so many funny memes out of this, but it was
it's the best part of coronavirus is the memes.
It was Charlize Theron, and it was two pictures of her, and it said how I thought my post-apocalyptic outfit would be, and it was her from Mad Max with like all the spikes and all the crazy stuff. Right. And then it goes how my actual post-apocalyptic outfit is, and it's her from that movie Young Adult where she's in like a baggy hooded sweatshirt and like baggy sweats, and she's got her hood on and her glasses on. It's just like this is my outfit every day right now.
Well, I was laughing because my roommate he plays a game called Fallout. Yeah. And like it's like a post-apocalyptic world, and like bottle caps are the currency.
Yeah.
And he was making a joke. He goes, "Man, I didn't know that toilet paper would be the currency of the future."
Right. It's wild.
And I made the joke to my mom because she has, we had some toilet paper in the garage or whatever, and I opened a cabinet. I was like, "Hey, Mom, you want to see what gold looks like?" And I opened up the cabinet, and she just laughed.
That's so funny. Hey, let's take a quick break and let's chat some more about that.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're back. We're talking about all the craziness going on in the world. I went for a run today. Well, I told you the last couple of days I've been going for a run, and today, like, I've been running a lot, and it's been like gradually tapering off all the activity outside. And today was the first day where I was running. It was like 4:00 in the afternoon, and there was just nobody, and it was really eerie. It was very eerie.
I was at Target today. I went to get to try to find bread for my mom, and it was like there's like people in like masks and gloves everywhere, and it's just like,
it's weird. This is the stuff we see in movies, and we're like, we're living in it. Just like I said before, those poor people that can't celebrate Mass, and it's like, well, we're those people now. It's scary, but we're gonna get through it.
It literally feels like a movie.
Yeah, it really does. I keep waking up and I'm like, oh yeah, this is real life still. Here we are, but we're gonna get through it. There's gonna be some crazy ramifications of this. So not only all the health things, but and this isn't the type of podcast, but it's worth noting and what we want to talk about, like financial, businesses, everything that's going to stem from this on a social, ecological, financial, I don't know, all the economical, all the nomicals and everything.
There will be irreparable damage for sure.
Absolutely, it's going to be insane. It's going to take a long time to get back from. Like we talked about before, there's going to be pre-COVID-19, post-COVID-19 world. This is one of those things where it's like you always remember where you were when this happened. So older generations, where were you on Pearl Harbor? They'll never forget. Where were you when JFK was the JFK assassination? For my generation, your generation, it's like 9/11. Where were you when that plane struck that tower? But those are moments. They're like when something happened, earthquakes or whatever. This is like over a series of time, a longer period of time. But it's still going to remain the same. You'll never forget where you were in your life when COVID-19 happened, because the world's going to completely change.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's going to be, this is like, we're like in a history book level situation right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that it's so important that the church steps up to the plate and does what it can with the resources that we are given. Because I want to look back in history, and when it says, okay, when coronavirus, when COVID-19 happened and masses were canceled all across America, what did the Catholic Church do?
Right.
How did we continue to spread the faith?
Yeah, the Catholic Church has always been on the forefront of history. They've always been pushing. They've always been right there. Not always doing the best things, but they, I think, for the most part, they're there through it all. And I think it was probably a huge decision for them to have to cancel those masses across.
Oh, absolutely, I'm sure, and I'm sure it was heartbreaking.
But can you imagine if they didn't, because they're like, oh, people need to receive, and then that was the reason why the outbreak got out of control or more out of
Absolutely.
control. So I think they made the right call. And I keep saying, what are the implications of Mass being canceled? I heard somebody saying like, oh, this is going to be the nail in the coffin for the Catholic Church. People are going to be like fed up. They're going to be fed up with them taking away Mass. I think that was, well, here's also the thing. Everything's changing day to day. So that was like last week when they first started taking away Masses, and people were like, why are they doing this? This is bad press, bad publicity. But then they see like, oh, the severity of the situation, and they're like, oh yeah, that was probably the right thing to do. But what I was saying was like, no. I pray that it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be the opposite effect, where people are going to be so hungry for the Eucharist, so hungry for Mass, starving for their community, for their church, for their Jesus in the Eucharist, that they're going to flock back to church. They're going to appreciate it on a level that they have never appreciated it before. Sometimes when you take it for granted, sometimes the things that you can we have Mass readily available to us all the time, any day of the week, anywhere in the country except for Good Friday, anywhere you go, and all of a sudden you can't have it. People are going to want it.
Oh, yeah, like people are going to crave it. I made a post on my Facebook the other day, and it was just like something that was on my mind and my heart. And it was just like, when this is all over, we're never going to complain about having to go into work, right? For a while. At
least 4 days.
We're going to embrace our friends like never before. We're going to go out to the movies and never take for granted going out to dinner with our friends, right? We're going to rush to the Eucharist and be able to like experience it because we know now what it's like to not have it. I was telling my teenagers, I was like, guys, I know it sucks right now because my kids are hurting for youth group, man. Because like this was like March and April, right after my year 2 retreat, is like prime time for youth ministry. Like it's when everybody is so fired up about faith and everybody's just wanting it so bad, and to lose it right now is devastating for some of these kids. And some of my seniors in high school, like their prom, their graduation is just gone.
Yeah.
And I was saying to them, but guys, when we get to have youth ministry again, when we can come together again in community, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be like never before. We're going to appreciate it so much more. We're going to starve for it. We're going to run and embrace it and hug each other and pray for each other like never before. It's going to be amazing. So we have to hold on and look for that. Look forward to that, because this isn't going to last forever.
Right.
It may feel like it.
And it might go on much longer than we're comfortable with. No one's comfortable with any of this, but this might go on for a while. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that's crazy is like right now, at least in California, the state is on lockdown or on the no go out, no working, no nothing until April 19th. Right, today is March 22nd. So, and that went into effect 2 days ago, so a full month.
Right.
And that also means that Holy Week is in that, and Easter
gone.
Is done.
And it's not that it's gone. The beautiful thing is that priests are instructed to celebrate masses by themselves, at least, all across the country and the world.
And Monsignor has already said he wants to live stream a couple different masses on Easter Sunday at our parish at least. So I'll be spending my Easter sitting in the pew, having him say mass just to him and I. I'll probably altar serve and stuff for him.
Yeah, you got to kind of take on more jobs and responsibilities because
I can just set up the tripod and I can serve.
Right.
So.
I'm talking with my pastor. He's not really communicating well through this, and I get it because like I have a lot of people that are waiting for me for answers as well through my choirs, payroll and everyone. They're asking me all these questions. All the parents of the kids in my kids' choirs, they're like, "What are we doing? What's going on?" And I've been like ignoring emails because I didn't want to send out an email and then. Like
things change.
2 hours later, things change, and I go, just kidding, we can't do that now. So I would like wait till it's a definitive, something definitive that comes down the pipe. So,
right.
But like I was hoping to get a little bit more back and forth with my pastor on what's going on. He won't like answer texts. He answered like a couple emails, but they would take like 3 days to get back. But I keep saying, hey, I am available. I have all the resources to film masses and send and get this out to our flock here.
And in high quality.
In high quality. I was like, I got all the gear out.
You could set up our big the big old light. Excuse my language. Sorry, guys. But that big old light.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Right. So
it could be awesome.
Looking at possibly even on Easter, getting like me and a cantor to do music and do... obviously it's a small production because I'm sure we can't have more than 5 people in there, but giving somebody a little bit of joy for that Easter with music, with a bigger mass that they can watch, and whatever I can do
and watch Familiarity,
exactly. Like there's our music director, there's our pastor, and we feel like we're at home. We're being fed from our community, right? So whatever we're. He's taken a little bit longer than I would have hoped, but I'm hoping to get him on board with that and be able to use my gifts and talents to help feed the communities in this time as well.
Yeah, I was so excited when Monsignor. I was surprised, honestly, but he was so excited about the idea. And I just sent him a text. I said, "Hey, here's my idea. Give me a call." And he called me like instantly.
Awesome.
And we talked on the phone. He was like, "Come in on Monday. Let's figure this out. I got a bunch of ideas."
Beautiful.
I was like, "Yes." So my hope is it's like for some of these priests that are kind of older, like maybe this can kind of reignite their priesthood in some senses and get them fired up again about being evangelists.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's a crazy time.
Yeah. What we were saying before, kids, the world is more connected than ever, but so alone, and so it's a weird moment right now that we are all alone, like
because now everyone's like social media connect each other.
Everyone's alone, but now it's all of a sudden like we're finding ways to connect. We're like trying to flip it and connected. We're alone, connected instead of connected and alone. Right, so in the past we were connected to our devices, but alone in our own world. But now we're alone in our own world in our houses, but we're connecting with the world. There's everyone. This comes down the pipe, and all of a sudden everyone finds the live button on Instagram. Everyone finds the live button on Facebook. There's groups on. I don't have an iPhone, but you're there. People are setting up groups, and they're all hanging out. I'm talking about doing a board game. If you want to do it with me as well, doing a board game night. We have the big long board game that we play that takes like 2 hours, 3 hours. But like set up people live. And they tell us what moves they want to do. Like finding.
Dude, I am so down.
Finding ways to connect together, even though we are quarantined and alone.
Well, I'm doing a Zoom chat, which what we're on now, with my teenagers tomorrow. So a bunch of them, we're all going to be together, and I'm going to attempt to have a discussion with all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
The other cool thing that I'm going to do is the Bible is on Netflix. That the video interpretation of it that they made, the cinematic interpretation.
Yeah.
And you can set up a party to watch it with you if people have Netflix.
I heard about that, yeah.
And then they can you can chat. So I was like, let's watch the Bible together, and you guys can ask me questions.
Fantastic.
And we can chat back and forth about what's going on. And I can reference the actual scripture verses and stuff that where this is happening, so you can read the actual word of God in the text. of what's going on, but just another way to connect with them.
That's beautiful. Finding creative ways to connect, not only on a like a social level, but on a spiritual level. So you're doing both. You're knocking two birds with one stone right there, and finding ways again to connect our Catholic world when in this crazy time when we can't celebrate Mass. Here at the studio, we started this project. Although obviously things change from day to day, but we finally came up with a name, and we're pretty excited about it. It's called Pix Project.
How do you spell that?
PYX. PYX Project. Yeah, because we were trying to find cool names, but the idea is how we can, again, bring the church to the people when they can't receive it through Mass. So we said, it took us a long time. We were going back and forth with ideas. We couldn't find anything we liked, and then one of our friends here said, "Oh, what's the thing called that you put the Eucharist in that you bring to the sick or people that can't go to Mass?" And I go, "Oh, Pix." We're like, "Yes, Pix Project." So we just launched it today. It's still rolling, but one of our key creative minds, Andy Asco, he was living here. He's from Ireland though, and he decided he wanted to fly back late Monday night and be with his family. So it's a little bit of a disconnect now because there's like an 8-hour difference and it's hard to work together. Plus now we're strict quarantining, so we can't bring in people. We were going to bring in priests to give reflections, and we can't do that right now. So, but anyways, that's going to be the idea, and we're going to move forward past this outbreak and this pandemic is to continue to bring Christ through the new media. So Pix Project on Instagram. I think we're working on all the rest of the platforms.
Amazing. And follow on Instagram. We'll share it on our Two Catholic Dudes Instagram. Yeah. For anyone that follows us, so you guys can jump on, because you know what? The more Catholic stuff we can follow on Instagram, the more we can fill our feed with the good news, the better.
Exactly.
We'll share it. But Pix Project, I know all the guys that are involved in it. I wish I could be more involved in it, but
this is what we can do. You do what you can do.
We're all connected. Like I said, we're all working together to make this the best we can do, and we will keep bringing you these podcasts. A lot of them are going to be just like this for a long time,
or who knows,
the next several weeks. Yeah, I hope at least.
Or we've even been talking about like Two Catholic Dudes doesn't have to be just the two of us. So like if I get a guest on. I get a remote guest and we do an episode like that, or Danny gets a remote guest. We've been wanting to do Father Cook. We have a lot of great priest friends, just different Catholic people out there across the country and the world that we'd love to connect with. So if this is an opportunity to get them on the show, whether we can do 3 of us together, I don't know. But
you can do up to 40 people on Zoom.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see what we can do. So throw in suggestions of people you would love to see us podcast with. And now that we know that we can do this via, live stream or, remotely, that could be an option.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want to keep the content coming. We want to keep going.
Yeah.
We want to keep ministry moving.
Exactly. In other news, I think we're about to wrap up, but Danny's working on getting some mugs going on with some, one of your friends, out of the goodness of her heart, created this really cool cartoon logo for us with cartoon versions of ourselves. It says Two Catholic Dudes.
Yeah, she's also, you don't know yet, but she's also creating individual ones of us.
Oh, cool.
She drew one of you playing the guitar, and it says Ryan Klaus, and then she made one of me with the microphone. And
that's awesome. God bless her. Tell her thank you for me. But so you got a test run of mugs coming to you to make sure that they're good, and then after that, I think we're gonna have them for sale and for Patreon members if you get over a certain level. All of our Patreon members that are signed up to us at whatever we haven't decided the level yet. You're gonna get a mug sent to you immediately, because we want to make sure that we appreciate you, and we don't want it to just be for new subscribers, people that have been signing up and supporting us from the beginning. Exactly. You're going to get a mug sent to you for sure. Yeah. But coffee mugs, and I think we're working on t-shirts as well. But I found a place that we can do a lot of different things that you're interested in. We can do mouse pads. We can do sweatpants and hoodies.
yeah. Well, we can do journals. I'm a big journaler.
Sure.
So I'm going to get a Two Catholic Dudes journal. Just different cool things. If you want cartoon versions of me and Ryan on there saying what's up. I should get the test mug this week.
Maybe we'll see if they're delivering. Yeah. So,
but we'll. I'm gonna check it out, make sure that it's good, and then I'm gonna order a bunch of them, and we'll start sending those out.
Perfect. All right. So as always, find us on social media at Two Catholic Dudes _ Two Catholic Dudes on Instagram, Facebook. We will probably be posting. We have so much stuff in the archives. I think during this time we'll probably go back and do a bunch of throwback videos for you guys to see some stuff on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. I'm going to start doing more reflections on our Instagram, like aside from just Tuesday Thoughts, and posting them on the stories and stuff.
Perfect.
Just because, because I found my sweet light that I can use now to make myself look better than just holding my phone. And I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff for my parish, doing reflections on the Stations of the Cross and stuff that my pastor wants to do. And I'm just going to double post and save it and post it on Together Dudes as well, just so we can have more content and more stuff flowing, just little stuff.
Wonderful. I love it. Yeah, so look out for that stuff. I'll keep trying to do as much music as possible. Again, just we're going to pray for all of us that we all stay healthy.
Pray for our world.
Pray for our world. Just pray, you guys. Pray the rosary every day. Pray. We're going to get through this together.
Absolutely.
We're all in this together. I've been singing that song this whole week.
How sweet is it? And also put in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube if you have any movie suggestions on Netflix or Disney Plus that we can watch.
Yeah, and it's not Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman. I'm not watching that.
Dude, why is
everyone's watching all that stuff right now?
Like,
stop
why?
it! I watched The Naked Gun
Balto
the other night.
is on Netflix.
It's just something stupid and silly. Balto. There you go. Watch that.
Watch Balto.
Yeah.
Someone asked me recently what my favorite Disney movie was, and I said Balto, even though it's not a Disney movie.
Beautiful. Well, all right. Well, I'm glad you moved in safely and you're all settled. Hope the other guys are doing well. I look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon.
Maybe someday.
Yep, someday. But
yeah,
cool.
We'll be in touch. All right, brother. Well, hey, it was great talking to you.
You too, guys. God bless. Thank you as always, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.